Well, ladies and gentlemen, we almost just got tried for a crime we did not commit. I was standing by the microwave, and this lady came over and said, "Who cooked the Hot Pockets?" I didn't cook the Hot Pockets, and he didn't cook them either, but she still blamed us for it. Hey, everyone. It's the Triple Threat Podcast coming in your ear holes. It's me, Alex Vaughn. How you doing? I'm here, as always, with my brothers Matthew.
Hello.
Enjoying the great outdoors. And William C.
That's me.
Yeah, what up, Will? What do you see?
By the dawn's early, my country 'tis of thee, and then other
That's the new
similar
that's
type
the new
American
Star
lyrics.
Spangled. William, what do you
I was
see?
thinking.
Well,
I was thinking the was it Walt Whitman? Walter White. Yeah, from Breaking Bad.
boy,
that
Walter.
guy. Walt Whitman, right?
Go
He's
on.
like,
I get those guys confused
Say
all the
my
time.
name.
Like say
Gosh,
say
darn
you see
right.
by the dawn's early. We should just recite poetry for 2 or 3 hours one of these days. Just recite poetry on this thing. Don't even talk about anything pertaining to anything else. Just poetry. Just
The least downloaded
poetry.
podcast of all time.
Our
is
own?
ours
our
every
own
week.
poetry?
I think we're
Hey, we're trending upwards, folks.
I think we're in the
Are we
bottom
really?
billion.
I think
That
we are.
doesn't
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
right. That doesn't
That
sound
doesn't-
that
yeah,
good
Trending a
at
little
all.
Now, I want to point something out that Alex alluded to
Sounds
earlier.
wrong.
I am recording this podcast outside.
Yes,
I'm out on my deck right now because it's a nice day out.
it is. We
And,
won't say where or when or why you're recording this, but yeah, it's a nice day where and when and why, wherever you are, and how wherever you are. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, so if you hear any interesting outdoor noises or maybe anything else, that's why. It's a fun experiment. Oh, I see a pigeon. It'd be great if it came over.
Oh, wow.
Is this just an
is-
excuse for you to
you
blame
see
your
a
toots on
pigeon.
something?
Pardon me?
If you blame your toots on something, all right, I say toots. Family friendly show. Blame
I
your
don't
toots.
believe in blaming toots.
That pigeon
here's my
flew
question.
over and tooted right in my microphone. I can't believe it. That pigeon keeps tooting in my microphone. It left and then it came back and tooted. Sorry. Gross.
So, here's a question for you guys.
Okay, here's an
How
answer.
popular a podcast can we be if we open up with a special feature from a Hardy Boys DVD from like 2001?
Hardy
is the
Boys, not
question.
the literary Hardy Boys, but
No, not the literary.
wrestling Hardy Boys.
Yeah, not,
These
not
are
friends
the
of
Hardy
Nancy Drew,
Boys.
but the rap
This
part.
is
Matt and Jeff.
This is the Hardy Boys with a Z at the end of their
Zed.
at the end of boys.
But it's
Now,
not what you
Alex,
think
you
it'd be.
give-
It's
you
in
give
the
some
middle of Hardy.
Can you give some context to the tribute you just gave?
No.
All right, good.
Okay.
We used to just you
Trying to
know
make it more
as
accessible.
when we wore younger men's clothes, as you know, and I still sometimes wear younger men's clothes just for when I'm by myself.
For fit.
Yeah. It cuts my jib real well. It likes the cut of my jib. I like its job. Of
I don't
its
like
jib
that.
cutting. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I don't know what kind of context you want. It's just when we were younger, we used to watch wrestling DVDs pretty much, I don't know, ad nauseum, for lack of a better term, and I think that's the best term I can come up with. So that one was from, the Hardy Boys, kind of recounting their backstory, and they had these little home videos as special features in it, and we would just, for some reason, I remember them verbatim, and I don't know why. I don't know why I don't remember, why I didn't do better in school, but I can recite a special feature from a Hardy Boys DVD from like 15 years ago. So, my parents are proud of me.
That was the pigeon, by the way. We just heard.
Yeah, sure it was. Sure it was.
That would be an interesting problem.
Someone catch you by surprise there, Willie? Nope. That was you. Face it, Petey. You're a
was the
terrible
pigeon.
liar.
How was you?
That was you.
Snap. Well, we picked up a lot of those wrestling DVDs from a Walmart sale a couple of years ago. It's when they changed the name of the. So it was in
Couple
2002.
years ago.
Well, yeah, it was like 13.
A couple of years ago, being well over a decade.
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
a couple of years ago. A couple squared. A couple squared off, and anyway, we picked those up from Walmart. They had a bunch on sale. One of them that we didn't pick up was WrestleMania 17. I was upset about that. I think we picked up the VHS for that though. But that was funny. There was the Hardy Boys one was great. It had all these great like promos and stuff they filmed with the home cameras. Like, will you survive? I don't think so.
Think so.
Yeah, see tons of that. Like,
Tonight I'm
this
going to
came
kill
up
that
all-
boy Destroyer, whatever his name is.
Destroyer, Crush, whatever his name is. Yeah, it's great because they're both
Shocking
they're from,
how much this I remember.
Yeah, of course. They're from like a couple of North Carolina. North Carolina, yeah, from near Raleigh, but not in Raleigh. So a couple of skinny kids with North Carolinian accents, rambling off wrestling promos and stuff, and then they made it to the big time. So good for them. You know, everybody starts somewhere, and those I think WWE really likes those old home videos. I think that's just gold for them. I think they like it a whole lot. There's actually one thing on the like you know how Leno, like when he has somebody out, is like, yeah, he did a commercial back in 1985. Let's take a look. You know, he do that kind of thing.
I'm glad you're using Leno as your frame of reference, by the way.
You nailed
Yeah.
it. You nailed it.
Leno would do that kind of thing. But they showed Letterman too. He was like dancing. I was on the last episode. He was like dancing in a court, like at some charity show or something with like Michael Keaton. They were all wearing sweaters. It was back in the 80s. It was very funny.
That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah, they did that once with like Jason Alexander, and he was like in this McDLT commercial.
Yes, he was.
This
Yeah.
thing with the McDLT, and it was I don't know
The
what it was.
song or the phrase?
Yeah, but it was like
It was really awful.
big selling point of the McDLT is the toppings were separate, so they stayed cool, but the burger stayed hot. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
yeah,
they're
George
cool and hot
Costanza
and-
had a whole song about it.
Which is an odd thing to like.
Such a
for
weird
that even
selling
to be.
point. Such
Yeah.
a weird selling point. It's like,
Who's
we
ever
keep
been
the
like,
cheese separate so it doesn't melt? What are you talking about?
No, I think it's your pickles and your tomato and things like that.
and
No, I know,
things
but
like
that's
that.
just like
things of that
an
nature.
example of a bad thing, a bad selling point, I guess.
Right. Okay.
I
Fair
wasn't
enough.
being as specific with the McDLT. I apologize. Back when they
It
used to come
wasn't
in
a
big
very-
styrofoam containers that used to
Yeah.
kill murder pigeons.
It
Much like the ones
wasn't,
right beside you right now, Matt.
Yeah, that's what makes me so gassy. It's because it was just it didn't sell. It didn't sell very well. It was a bad. it was a bad product.
What's the D in McDLT?
Delicious.
Dos
Locos?
Locos?
Tacos?
Bread, lettuce, tomato.
No, it's the McDLT is McDonald's LT. So there's like the
It's
Yeah.
the McD, and then with lettuce and tomato, which are cool.
Yeah, you ever
Lawrence
want
Taylor.
to you ever want to like really crack somebody up? Just be like, hey, where do you want to eat tonight? I heard of the new Scottish restaurant that just opened up. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called McDonald's, and then everybody laughs, and then you end up going to McDonald's. So there you go. You save a couple bucks.
I'm sure no one has ever laughed at that.
Hey, I laughed. Alex just did.
I'm laughing at Matt's confidence.
No,
in the
you
lack
weren't.
of
You're
hilarity
laughing.
of that.
No, you're
of that
laughing at my
joke.
joke.
Lack of hilarity.
If I laughed at that at that point, I
You're-
would not be all that bright.
it's a
Alex
problem.
laughed at that. It took me a while. Took me a while on that one.
Depends on how this is put together. It might actually time out perfectly. You laugh right after that.
Yeah,
I'll edit it. I'll make sure. I'll edit a laugh track in there.
yeah, you'll edit it. Yeah, let's see that. We don't need no stinking laugh track. We're the Arrested Development of podcasts. We don't need some multicam laugh tracky whack. Big Bang
Do we
Theory
do we
type
know
things?
All right, don't barf from the microphone. Do we know of any shows that maybe besides the Flintstones that absolutely used a laugh track? Like, do we know of any shows that kind of came out and they were like, "Yeah, we used a laugh track"? Because most of them were filmed before.
Kind of all of
studio
them.
audience. All of them.
Saved by the Bell would have.
You don't think that was done in a studio? Well, obviously, it was
I
in a
don't-
studio,
like,
but in
it-
front of people. I don't know.
on
You know what?
location at Bayside
never.
High.
Yeah, well, we never saw that special. You know, like Fresh Prince did an episode where, like and Home Improvement did one too, where they like showed the audience, like, look, it's a real studio audience, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't think
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell did one where like they did like, you know, Behind the Bell. Actually, that's what was the name of the Dustin? We talked about this before. The Dustin Diamond autobiography. It was like Beyond the Bell. Or something.
For whom the bell tolls. After
Taco
the bell,
Bell.
Taco Bell. Believe in the bell. Speaking of which, Bo Leave, congratulations to Neville for beating Bo Dallas last night at Elimination Chamber.
That was a heck of a show, man. I couldn't believe the
Heck of a show.
What happened? Yeah, couldn't believe the stuff that happened and the things that went on.
Lucha
And,
Dragons won the tag Elimination Chamber.
They
That
won
was
the tag.
nice.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Seth Rollins
100.
retained against Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, these all 100% happened.
Other things that happened. Well, the thing I can guarantee you is that R-Truth didn't win the Intercontinental title. That's what I will absolutely guarantee you.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Matt, can you give me something that didn't happen? Like, you guarantee me something that didn't happen at Elimination Chamber.
Well, my first two thoughts were super dark.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say not mentioning dead people.
Yeah, because mine was Chris Benoit versus Owen Hart.
Oh, Matt,
wow.
what? Why?
No.
That was the first thing I came to. I guarantee you that did not happen.
No.
I guarantee you neither of them will be mentioned.
Okay. Well, something respecting the dead then. No? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
This segment just got brought down real quick.
All right. Whatever.
Pick it up. Pick it back up. What do you got? Change the topic to anything else.
Well, it's too late now. We're stuck in this one forever.
As unfunny as Will's McDonald's comment was from
hey,
moments
don't
ago,
put me under the bus.
Alex, you saw someone who is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw the show the other week. How was it?
Tig Notaro.
Yep, Tiger El Tigre Notaro.
So where did you see this? Was it Spats?
So yeah, well, this happened a couple months back. The kind of
months.
dawn. No. But the genesis of this story.
Okay.
So it was sitting around, and then I heard my phone go, and I was like, oh, that's a message for sure, because I get those often.
And not a pigeon.
And I know what that sounds like. And not a pigeon. No, that was a message coming to my phone, but that was just the buzzing sound. And I looked down, and I had a text from a friend of the show, maybe, Matt McIntyre, who I don't normally get text from, and it just said, hey, are you a fan of Tig Notaro? He's a friend of the show, okay. And he just said, hey, are you a fan of Tig Notaro? And I said, yeah, who isn't? And then there's very few people you can send that to, and they know what you're talking about. Like, Tig Notaro's kind of toes that line. There's a phrase I love to use so much. Toes the line between kind of, popular and abstract comedian, I guess. Comedian. Mm-hmm. That's with two N's and an E at the end of it. So he was like, cool. That's great that you like Tig Notaro. She's coming to town. Don't tell anybody for a couple days because I just found out and I'm getting it all set up. And I said, cool, man. And then 2 days later, I was like, I'll take that with a grain of salt. Maybe something will fall through. But 2 days later, they announced it. This was back in February. So I got my tickets, and Tig came by 2 weeks ago. Was that what it was? Because I forgot to talk about
Sounds about right.
Anyway, so she played the theater of a high school called Spence Theater at Citadel High, Halifax, Nova Scotia, same place where I saw Kevin Smith talk and screen Tusk.
So that's a nice theater, nice room.
It's a nice theater, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny thinking about it. You're like, oh, she's just like in a high school theater right now. It seems kind of like this is where I used to come for like talent shows.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you do there. Like, we never had theaters in our schools. We just had like the cafeteria or the gym with like 9,000 folding chairs.
Well, there was a cafetorium. That was both.
That was just a cafeteria with a stage in it.
With an orium.
Yeah. I think that was very generously named. They used to do like Auburn Idol and stuff at lunch one time. I'm going to tell you one time. And then I went to the cafetorium one evening, because Gary Beals was in the finals of Canadian Idol, and he was from our neck of the woods. So they aired it there for the finale. He didn't win. He did not win.
Did not win Canadian Idol. Unlike those other the famous winners of Canadian Idol.
Spoiler alert.
Now recite.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen.
Famous millionaires from Canadian Idol.
Yeah, if you're catching up on Canadian Idol on Netflix, this is a spoiler alert. I should put that in place. Not you'll edit that in, right?
Can you imagine they had Canadian Idol on Netflix?
What I'm saying now in
That's
before.
a great idea, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, he lost. And that was basically the only use we ever go to the cafetorium other than like dances. But then they just kind of pushed the tables out of the way. Stage still wasn't used. So I saw Tig Notaro. She had two local guys open up for her. One guy was funny. The other guy wasn't. And she did about 75 minutes of a new act that she's going to, I think she said she was filming her special in like 2 weeks or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good show. I have this thing about live comedy shows where comedy is a much different animal than music, where I don't want to hear anything that I would have heard before, because that kind of takes the element of surprise about it, because that's kind of the whole point of comedy. Whereas
you don't want to go there and be like,
you want to see all the hits.
You want to hear the songs, right? But like if you go to see comedy, you're not like, oh, I hope she does the thing. You know, it's like, well, you already.
Yeah,
did
it's like
that.
I hope Jim Gaffigan does the Hot Pocket thing. You're like, it's going to be not even a quarter as funny if you hear it without knowing what's coming. And that's usually what a lot of comedians will do is they'll tour, they'll build an hour, film the special, and then kill all that material from the special once that airs, and then kind of start fresh again. And so she was doing that. A couple of the things I'd seen on a Conan set, but overall is like probably 75 minutes of the freshest stuff.
Wow, that's a lot.
Kind of did a Paul F. Tompkins. Well, it's kind of, she opened like a Paul F. Tompkins. There's a lot of riffing and stuff like that.
Riffing?
So
Great.
it's not super tight show when you do that, and like you would do with her special would probably be like 50 minutes or something like that. But she's kind of a different animal in the sense that she has been a comedian for a number of years. She's a writer on Amy Schumer's show. She has her own podcast, I think, called Professor Blastoff. She's on This American Life. But she also was diagnosed with breast cancer, I want to say 3 years ago now. So she had this weird period in her life where she had something called C. diff, which is a bacterial infection. So she was taking antibiotics, but she wasn't taking probiotics. So then the antibiotics started kind of like eating at her digestive system. So she lost like 20 pounds. She got very sick. Then when she got out of the hospital, her mom hit her head, hit her head, and then died. And then she had a breakup and then found out she had breast cancer in both breasts. And that was in a 4-month period. So at the time, she actually filmed a special called Tig Notaro Live, not Live, which I can't remember if I mentioned on the show or not. It's about a half-hour segment that she filmed or recorded right after she found out she was diagnosed with cancer. So she just comes out right away. The crowd's cheering. She's just like, hey, I have cancer. Hey, everyone, I have cancer. And then, like, there's a good, like, 5-10 minute awkward beginning where people can't tell if she's joking or not about having cancer. But she did. But she actually did. So in that time, since then, she had a double mastectomy and is kind of touring and kind of gained, a little bit of notoriety from that, I guess. And so this didn't touch on that as much, but she discussed certain aspects of that, and a little bit of comedy coming from tragedy, or a lot of tragedy in a way. So it takes a certain perspective to put that all in perspective in a humorous bend. But she's a very, 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 very funny woman.
That's
people,
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I went with people who didn't really know who she was, and that's what I always say with you don't really have to know who a comedian is, in my opinion, to go see them and have a good time. I find live comedy shows to be some of the best times I've ever had. Like, same with when I saw Paul F. Tompkins. I went with people who didn't know who Paul F. Tompkins was, or a couple other, or Will, when you saw Lachlan the first time. What's his name? Lachlan Patterson?
Lachlan Patterson, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember
why.
Didn't
know all that well at that time.
No, I didn't know him at all.
He's freaking hilarious.
And I can't remember why we went to see Lachlan, but we quite enjoyed him. And then he enjoyed a lot of success on Last Comic Standing. Another example of a Canadian in a contest and not coming in first.
Yeah, he did. Jerry D did it as well. He went pretty far on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, that's actually
he made the top 3 or something like that.
As far as like reality shows, I don't know what category you call them, like reality contest shows or like talent shows or whatever. That's a good one. It's a good way to describe it. I think Last Comic Standing is actually a pretty darn good one. Oh, and AGT's coming back too. We can't forget that.
Oh,
what's that?
America's Got Talent. Well, look, it's summer. You got to put something on television. You know what I mean?
What do you think the rating difference would be if they changed the name of that show to America Has Talent?
America's Kids Got Singing. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was definitely a good one. Well, heck, good. I'm glad Tig came, and there's a lot. It was felt like a long time in the making, but I know Matt was very, 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 very excited and very proud about that. About her coming to town.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. Like, I'd say, I think they didn't advertise it at all, really, other than Facebook and maybe Twitter. And it had to be, 90 to 95% sold, if not completely sold out. I was lucky there was no one sitting beside me for whatever reason. But the rest of the theater looked pretty full. I was crying I was laughing the entire time. I have that certain, there's a certain mood for me at a live comedy show, whereas, you're kind of part of that crowd. Whereas if you watch it at home, you might not laugh as much. Versus watching it with other people, you might laugh a little bit more. But something about a live comedy show, I'm in the mood. I'm ready to go. There's like an electricity in the air, and even her, she's not overly animated, but she's still very funny. And so, like, even without that kind of, like, huge personality, she can still control a room very well. And she's also a very specific kind of brand of comedy. So the people who are going to see her, for the most part, are going to see her. You kind of have to know tickets to go in. And, like, having said that, I went with people who didn't really know who she was, and they thought she was absolutely hilarious as well. So, live comedy shows, folks. Go check them out. Support your local comedians or traveling ones. I don't care.
I have a question for both you guys. You guys have been to a lot of live comedy shows. What have you experienced situations where there's heckling? What's that like? What's the reaction? What's it like?
I can't remember what special it is where Patton Oswalt is like just talking, and then there's a girl in the audience like on the phone, and then he's talking about her, but she's not aware he's talking about her, and it's like a whole 5-minute thing where he's just like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just fascinated. You are so stupid that you are on your phone right now at a comedy show, and he's just like tearing into her. Is really, really hilarious. I don't know if you remember that or not, Will.
I can't remember what special that's on.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Like, I literally just heard that segment of it today. And then there's another one on, it's either Harmful as Swallowed or the other first kind of Dane Cook album, Harmful as Swallowed.
I think it's on, I don't think Harmful as Swallowed has a heckler, but I know that Retaliation does. Retaliation,
yeah. And he's just like, shut up, I'll get you kicked out. And then, like, he actually does get him kicked out of the show or something like that. And then he's just like, this is great. It's like dad just yelled at mom at the dinner table. Everyone's still trying to eat. Yeah. So there's a couple, and there's also one.
He was vicious. Like, so people take down hecklers in a different way. Dane was pretty vicious. And Chris D'Elia kind of makes fun of him. Patton just kind of makes fun of him.
Like Louis C.K. says he won't even engage.
Yeah, I'd say Louis just take him right down.
But I would say, Matt, to answer your question, of the ones I've seen, no, I haven't seen any, because I think in Halifax you're so excited to get some sort of namesake come. So I've seen Dane Cook, I've seen Jerry Seinfeld, I've seen Louis C.K., Jerry D a couple times.
Have you seriously seen all those guys here in Halifax?
Yeah, I'm going to see Daniel Tosh, and then Tig, and then Paul F. Tompkins. So
you've seen what great comedians.
Yes,
here.
Like very, bucket list worthy comedians. Yeah, and if I can get, I know Weird Al's sold out, but if I can get tickets to that, he's playing at the casino for 2 nights, so I'd love to see that. And that's obviously, he's not going to have hecklers, but it'd be a great show to see. So I haven't seen any hecklers live, and I think that's because, and even having seen a bunch of open mics, I really haven't seen too many that really come off the top of my head. Having done stand-up literally a handful of times, because it's been about 5. It is a terrifying prospect. You're just hoping no one's going to say anything to you, because I would have no way to do anything about it. But yeah, I've never seen it live in person, I don't think. Will?
Quick question. Would hecklers of Weird Al be just people who just sing the actual lyrics to the regular songs?
Oh, that's a good point. There are songs I listen to where I only sing the Weird Al parts. So American Pie and Gangster's Paradise specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know the words to Gangster's Paradise at all.
No, but Amish Paradise. Amish Paradise.
Almond Paradise? That sounds like a great chocolate bar.
I said Amish.
I think I said Almond Paradise.
No, it's okay. You're just thinking almonds because you're outside, I guess.
Sometimes you like
you're
that,
outside near the almond plantation, and you're just enjoying yourself. Where do almonds come from, anyway? From the ground.
I do not like the word plantation.
Okay.
That
didn't have to say words you liked.
Problematic.
Okay. That's fine.
Look, Matt, you're not
don't
eat about problematic things said during this podcast.
Don't eat any more. Don't eat any more fruit. Put your fruit down if you want to avoid it. Look, during
you want to know where almonds come from?
No, I don't. Not anymore. I've lost interest. Okay. During Ron Funches last week, there weren't hecklers, but there were people sitting at a table.
They'll just
talking loudly during the show, like not about what's going on. And they're actually, Ian and I got there kind of late, so we were sitting at the back. And this was at Yuck Yuck, so this wasn't at the Comedy Mix. There's a Yuck Yucks on Canby now.
Wasn't it Ha-Ha's? Wasn't it the Chuckle Hut? It was at Yuck Yucks, everyone.
It was at Yuck Yucks. And actually, Funches had a pretty funny line that involved Yuck Yucks that I can't repeat on the air. But It's a very, I'd say the comedy mix might be a deeper room than this one, but this one is just like it's just a big kind of wide room, and it's nice, it's fine, but like we were kind of in the back in the middle, and like there a table to the left of us in the corner, a table to the right of us in the corner. They were both kind of chatty, and the doorman kind of came over and like, you gotta keep it down or else, whatever. But they still kind of went on. So it was a little distracting in the back. I don't think it distracted Ron very much. He only said he kind of heard somebody speaking at one point. He's just kind of like, go on, That was about it. That was how
in a very Funches-esque way. That's kind of an odd situation to be in. Like if you're on behalf of the performer, you're like, they're not talking to me, but they're ruining the show for other people, and I don't want to make them a part of the show, but I also want them to stop distracting me and the audience at the same time. So I just can't stand people who are that into themselves that they can't understand that they're disrupting the show. Yeah, self-absorbed. Thanks, Matt.
Well, I don't understand how you pay for a show.
A sponge? They're like people sponges. And it's like their personality sponges. I don't know what it's called. Anyway.
You know that commercial with the big fat guys who are dressed up as sponge towels? They're like those.
Yes. Yes,
big
exactly.
Fat guys who
for
are
lack
dressed
of
up
a better
as
term.
towels.
Because there's no better term that exists. But yeah, they're self-absorbed, and that's really so for Funches, you're just like, I don't want to make them a part of the show, but I also want them to shut up. And that's when you need someone like the doorman to come in and be like, hey, shut up.
But you paid to go to the show, so sit down and listen to the show. That's the part I don't understand.
I mean, didn't Ian do something about it? He talked about like a bachelorette party or something being there, which they'll just go to a comedy club. They'll have no idea who Ron Funches is, and they're just like, we'll go to a comedy club, and then we'll go get smashed or something like that. Or we'll get smashed, get more smashed at the comedy club, and then get even more smashed later on. So it might not have been for the Ron Funches show, but it was.
No, it was. That's what it was. Yeah, that was the table that was the table to our left.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up.
No, it's okay. Like they're just chatty. It's like don't be. Just can it. Well, listen to one guy. As Paul F. Tompkins said, it's still a comedy show. It's still a monologue. But there's
exactly.
there's whatever. It's part of the show. It's a live show. You're in a room with living, breathing people that can react to you. So if you want to do a show where you can't get heckled, do a podcast, because then no one can. We can do this in our own little bubble, and people can be walking down the street listening to us and yelling at us, and we don't know. Yell at us right now. I dare you.
Someone could actually walk down the street and yell at me because I'm outside.
Yeah, they could.
That's true. Yes,
so
you are outside.
If anybody's listening to this podcast, if you want to come and yell at me right now, that'd be welcome. You could be a friend of the show or an enemy.
Let's think about this for a second.
Yeah, let's think about this for a second. That's a terrible idea. Don't yell at him.
Let's think about when the podcast. Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
Thank you for discouraging people from yelling at me. That means a lot.
I don't know how anyone's gonna hear you talking and then go to you and then yell into your microphone.
It is 100%
right now.
It's 100%
Is this like a secret
impossible.
thing? Is this a secret thing? You just put it out in the universe and it will come to you?
Like the movie, like the book, The Secret. I said the movie. I think there might be a movie.
There is.
Didn't they make a movie about it? Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Atlas Shrugged or anything, but I think there is a companion piece.
Atlas Shrugged is a really interesting example to use because that movie, it's not two movies because there's part one and part two.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 10 people saw those movies.
Oh yeah, it did not do well. I don't know why that's the first book/movie combo I went with, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Could have said Harry Potter. Made 8 of those.
Thanks, Colin
James.
James.
Could have said Harry Potter. Thanks, Wolf, for getting my Colin James references.
That's right. I think his name's Colin James. What the heck was his name?
Just last week, I threw the hammock in the attic. That's my story.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I was at a restaurant like 2 weeks ago, and some song by Mary Chapin Carpenter came on, and I almost lost my mind. I was like, I forgot this Passionate Kisses. That's what it was. And I was just like, I am 8 years old.
Do you mind elaborating on where you were that you were hearing this?
I was at Rock Bottom. The restaurant just be below...
I know where Rock Bottom is.
Okay, but for people who aren't familiar...
for the listeners.
For the listeners who may come yell into your microphone because they're listening to this right now.
This is for Tourism Halifax, by the way. It's for tourism.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're just a secret Tourism Halifax podcast.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Yeah, Tig Notaro comes here. Listen to all these other great people who came here.
Rock Bottom Brew Pub on Spring Garden Road. That's where it was, below Your Father's Mustache. And Passionate Kisses came on, and I just stopped my conversation. I was just like, I just need to listen to this song, and I need you to go away. So yeah.
What was the name of this? Go ahead, Matt.
Shouldn't the restaurant below Your Father's Mustache be called Your Father's Mouth?
Mouth? Yeah, no, it's not called that. No one wants to eat your father's mouth. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't know. Restaurant names sometimes don't make any sense to me. Your Father's Mustache. I don't know. Whatever. It's good. It's good. I just don't know. If you just heard that, you'd be like, I don't know what's up.
I don't think you could open a new restaurant called Your Father's Mustache, but I don't know how long it's been there. But I think the fact that it's been there
at one
since,
point, every time at one point, every restaurant is new. Like this new Scottish place that just opened up.
I do like the idea that there was settlers came to Halifax and they were like, "What's that on the horizon?" And they're just fully functioning Your Father's Mustache sitting there. Oh, we've been open since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
we've always existed. We always were, and we always will be. Would you like some Coronas?
I'm trying to think what city was. Oh, it was Vancouver. Was made because the guy, what's his name? Gastown guy just made a pub.
Oh, Gas and Jack.
Just like, hey, come. Yeah, he's like, you guys help me build this. You can drink here for free. And they're like, what? And they're just like, yeah, now we have a town, and now it's Vancouver. Yeah.
That's right. That's where I am.
Look, having been born where most places have already existed for a long number of years, it's odd to think of hey, how did Vancouver become to be? How do you even one person stay in that area, and then how did it grow to be Hollywood North?
The coasts make sense to me, but I guess the prairies, most people just kind of settle on a river. I know.
Yeah,
Winnipeg.
It's generally rivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always some sort of body of water involved.
Yeah, Winnipeg is at the forks of the Red River and the something else up river, the Winnipeg River. I can't remember what it's called.
So they call it Pittsburgh North.
Yeah, that's why they call it Pittsburgh North. Hey, you know what? Canada has the most fresh water in the whole world. You guys know that?
I did.
And the most coastline.
Yeah, we're the best. Yeah, it's because of all those islands that nobody goes to. The Arctic islands.
Because if you stretched it all out, it's true.
Yeah, we're number one. That way. We're the best in the world. The prairies are odd to me, but yeah, people settle by rivers. Saskatoon, that's on a river too, right? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I remember seeing the river.
The South Saskatchewan River.
Yes, that one. Hey, you actually know the name of the river. Good. I'm very bad.
I hope I do. I live there. It was the only body of water for miles and miles. Well, that's not true.
So, you said the prairies are odd to you?
Just where people settle. Calgary's on a river too. I'm sure Edmonton is. I guess they all settle on a river.
Folks, if any of you are from a city or town that's not on a river and you know why,
Passionate Kisses.
Come to my microphone and tell me.
To me, Halifax and Vancouver make sense because they're all around a bay.
I'm from Salt Lake City. Never mind. I get what you're doing. Okay, catch you later.
Thank you, John.
What about Las Vegas?
Like a city in the middle of the desert?
Yep.
They just
what about
Arizona?
As Joel McHale once put when he opened the 2009 Just for Laughs Festival, a city that only exists because of air conditioning.
Well, that's fair enough. I don't know why these places
really
exist.
On a body of water.
Houston's on the ocean, isn't it, or close to it?
It's close to it, I guess, but Galveston's really on the ocean.
Rivers. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a main one it's on. There's definitely
how long does how long does it take to drive from downtown Houston to the coast? Quickest way.
Oh, that's a good point. 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of Los Angeles is like that itself too. It's not Los Angeles proper, city proper, is not on the coast.
No, not directly.
It's on the edge of a desert as well.
Yeah, it is.
What I know about Los Angeles, I know because I watched Chinatown once. Just kidding. 3 times.
I gotta watch that
movie. I want to admit
again.
I've never seen that movie before.
I gotta go down to LA.
So I'm not going to. I don't want to admit I haven't seen it before, and therefore I'm not going to.
Yeah, feel free to not admit that.
No, I'm not going to.
I have it on Blu-ray. You can borrow it. And folks, if you come to me right now, you can also borrow it.
No, don't
we
go
can't
right
both
now.
borrow. You can't offer it to me and then offer it to folks. You can't do both. Hey, Alex, you want this? Hey, folks, you want this? Hey, folks, well, you mind your own business and let me borrow my brother's Blu-ray like it's been offered to me.
Matt, what you ought to do is just buy a bunch of copies of each movie you have and just start to charge people for having it for 3 days. Maybe set up some sort of membership system, right? You charge people extra if they don't return it on time.
I was going to say, what if they don't return it on time?
No, you charge people a couple
How
extra
did it
bucks.
work? I'm gonna turn to the Blockbuster expert. Will, how did it work? Just kidding. Alex, how did it work when Blockbuster got rid of late fees? What happened instead? I don't remember.
I forgot that even happened. Oh my
they were
god!
Like, we don't have late fees anymore, and I was like, "How is the world not imploding?" And then it stopped existing in less than a decade after.
Because you could own it for like you could have it out for like 28 days, right? And then if you have it for like longer than 28 days, you have to pay for it. That's our Rogers counter argument, by the way. It's like, well, actually, you pay if you have it out for longer than 28
and that's
days.
kind of what happened with Blockbuster. But you'd have to give a big long spiel because if you had it for more than a week or 14 days, there was it wasn't a late fee. It was a $2 restocking fee.
Yeah, of course.
That's amazing.
Which is just a late,
but it was still way better. Like if you took out a $5 DVD for a 2-night rental and didn't return it for a week, if you came back, you'd owe like $14 because they charge you $250 a day plus tax for every time you had that out. Because that's lost revenue. I mean, we have 200 copies of Troy starring Brad Pitt and Nathan Fillion.
Eric Bana.
What's his name? Nathan Jones.
Eric Bana
And
Nathan
Orlando
He's
Bloom.
in it for a bit, yeah.
But that's lost revenue on them, so they charge people that. But so they changed it to no late fees, which are restocking fees. And then if you kept it, for more than so people thought, there's no late fees, I'll just keep it forever. And then if you kept it for more than like a month, you owned it. You had to pay them like $30 for the DVD.
Some people, I'm sure, waited it out and are now standing victorious over the corpse of Blockbuster.
They would take you to collections if you didn't pay your late fees.
Seriously.
They would mess up your credit permanently if you didn't pay your late fees. And some people had not monstrous late fees, like I don't know what you consider monstrous, but some people had like $80, $90. That's not monstrous but I mean it's a lot for late fees for getting to return Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, that's expensive. That's very expensive.
So
anyway. You really get.
So yeah.
Did you guys ever rent those the video game systems out? I always thought that was an interesting idea.
I mean, we used to rent the Super Nintendo as a family, like every once in a while before we had it.
That's right. That's right.
And I think we get it from, I want to say, I'll call it Microplayer, Last Game Store, whatever it was. So we'd rent that for a weekend and play, Legends of Zelda, Link to the Past, or something like that. But yeah, we did it at Blockbuster for a bit, but not all that long. Not anything I remember doing. But when I worked there, we also used to have a VHS rewinder because people would not be kind and they would not rewind, and then I'd have to do it. So yeah,
it's interesting that I feel like renting video game systems is a very 90s thing.
Yes, although these people still did it in the 2000s. I rented, I think before I owned a PlayStation 2, I rented one from Rogers, and I rented an Xbox before.
How much was it?
Free.
Do you have any?
I worked there. Yeah, I can't remember how much it was to rent it, but some parents would like grab their kids and be like, "Here you go, all right, we'll rent the Xbox for the weekend or whatever." I think it was like $20 or $30, but you had to place a deposit down on a credit card too of like $200 or $300.
It was like $100 deposit or something like that. Yeah, I'd say it's probably.
I think you had to like basically you had to pay for it as a deposit, and then of course when you return it, you get the deposit back. But if you rented out like the system and extra controllers and extra games. That like there was a bundle, but if that stuff was late, then you would end up paying a lot more because you paid a late fee on every single item, which is kind of nuts. During my off blocks, I remember going down to Last Game Store, Microplay, Gameplay, right, that spot, which is now Flower Shop. And it's not the kind of flowers that when you grab them you shoot flames. Unfortunately, it's not that kind of flower. They did not continue with video game theme. It ended there. But I remember, during off block, I had a GameCube, and we'd go down and like rent a bunch of GameCube controllers and GameCube games and stuff like for a day, and then we just bring it all back. It was like $20 for like that one off block. It was like, all right, that was worth it. I should say double off block when you had it like before and after lunch.
Can we just discuss what a horrible idea the GameCube was? Like, I mean, every other thing has a built-in DVD player, and I can do this, and the GameCube's like, no, man, we're just going to go miniature discs that aren't compatible with anything else, nor is anything else compatible with them, and not a lot of cross-platform games or anything like that, and we're just going to do our own thing, and you're like, you're done.
Like, but they've survived enough to have a Wii and a Wii U since then, but like, I don't know about Nintendo, guys.
Well,
People have been saying this for like 10 years.
As the aficionado of Nintendo. Like, they got rid of Nintendo Power Magazine, I assume?
Oh, yeah, they very much got rid of
Will
Nintendo
used to
Power
be
Magazine.
a subscriber.
Yeah, I had Nintendo Power sent to me. I'd read it at the church at night between rounds of playing Pokemon. I think I was playing Pokemon Yellow at that point. Anyway, where Pikachu would follow you around. But no,
It is Pokemon Yellow.
Nintendo, the Wii for them was like probably one of their biggest selling systems ever in the company's history. I think I'm pretty sure the highest selling system they ever had was the DS. The DS is their highest selling system in the company's history. Like, they sold the most units, and I think Wii is close to that. But the GameCube, they actually did release a GameCube that played DVDs in Japan. I think it was in conjunction with Philips. It was like silver and had all the shiny buttons and stuff on it. It looked a little fancier. But one of the things, one of the best things,
One of the worst controller designs, by the way, of all time.
Well, no, I was going to say actually one of the best controller designs, because it's one thing that survived. They actually brought it back for Smash Brothers on Wii U. They have an attachment they can sock in the GameCube controllers. So you can play either buy a new GameCube controller, which I just saw at Best Buy the other day, or you can use the old ones from your old system. I still have my GameCube here.
I choose to be devil's advocate about that, because that does not indicate that it was necessarily a good controller. It just means they used it again.
Yep.
No, because you had
PS3 controller.
No, because you had to get an attachment for it. So a lot of people, I guess, when they got the GameCube Smash Brothers, which I think was Melee. Yeah, because Melee was on the GameCube and Brawl was on Wii. So when Melee came out, I guess a lot of people liked using the GameCube controller on that. And I think they actually could use it on Wii, because we had a panel you could lift up and you could sock the old GameCube controllers in it. That was backwards compatible with the GameCube. So you could actually take the little tiny GameCube disc and put it in the Wii, which was nice. Wii U does not have that feature, though.
What's so funny about it, though, is because Wii was pretty groundbreaking when it came out in terms of the motion sensor and like Wii Sports, and like everyone played Wii Sports bowling or golf or anything like that,
or boxing.
And then everyone else just kind of stole that. Yeah, boxing.
Yeah, because PlayStation had the Move and Xbox had the Kinect, and I didn't know anybody. I don't know anybody who has an Xbox Kinect. I know when not the 360, the Xbox One, when that came out, I don't know if it's still actually mandatorily bundled with Kinect. I don't know if it's still, like, you still have to have the camera with it. But I remember the PlayStation Move, like, I never really used that except maybe at an in-store demo, like, once. But the Move was pretty much the most egregious Wii ripoff, because you have the little, remote in your hand, and it's pretty much just about shaped the same way, right? It's got the D-pad on it and the things, and it's got the little light on the top. But that, that didn't seem to go over as much as Sony probably would have liked to, because the PlayStation 3 was a more powerful system. It's HD. It's got the Blu-ray compatibility, which I guess has nothing to do with the Move, but it could just your discs can hold more information.
It is telling, though, because people who had a PS3 didn't want the same interaction as a Wii. They didn't need it.
I think one of the other selling points of the Wii also is that you could get the Wii and then you can have either a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 with it. I think they served, because to me the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox, they don't cancel each other out, but like they're kind of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Where I would lean toward having
you could have a Wii and have a completely separate system. Like, you're never going to have an Xbox and a PS3.
Like, you're not going to be like, I really have to play Uncharted and Halo. Like, that's I mean, the diehard gamers will have all three. I think there's a picture of Snoop Dogg carrying a couple of PlayStation 3s out the day that they were released. Might be Snoop Dogg.
So we're going to take Snoop Dogg, we're going to put him in one corner as kind of like not really worried about spending a lot of money on gaming systems. And
he's a guy
all for free.
He's a guy who's got a couple bucks, right? Yeah. And if he gets photographed with a bunch of PlayStation 3s, that probably maybe Sony gives him one or two, right, for free. Yep. They throw one or two in there. I brought my PlayStation 3 box. I kept the box, and I brought it all the way to Winnipeg with me when I was shooting Men with Brooms a couple summers ago. Matt can attest to that. He played NHL with me.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I brought the whole thing with me. I could actually I could probably get a carrying case for the Wii U, but the Wii U probably travels pretty easily. It's a lot lighter. The PlayStation 3 that I have is like the first generation one or the second.
Oh, so it's fat.
It's the big fatty. Yeah, but it still holds up.
One.
Mine's the fatty. My friend Brandon, he had a fatty like me, but his fan was very very loud. But he's got a PlayStation.
Calling things fatties.
Sorry, fatty. He's got a PlayStation 4 now though, so he's doing quite a bit better.
That was my favorite coming of age novel, A Fatty Like Me.
Okay.
It's about those kids who smoked a lot of joints.
Uncle Fatty, yes. I actually, my thing with Nintendo right now is that they have a feature called Club Nintendo. So it's whenever you buy a system or a game, you register it online and it gets you what's called coins. And I just noticed this the other day. I have 575 coins on my Club Nintendo, and I was going to save up because they had Mario Land 3D on Nintendo 3DS, which is like a $35 game. And I could get it for 600 points. And I just, the other day, read the small print. So I need to redeem it by the end of June. And I checked the small print. But also I can't earn coins. The last day I could earn coins was in March, I should say. So I'm stuck with my 575 coins. So I can't get Mario 3D Land for free. I could have got Star Fox 3D for 700 coins. That would be on the 3DS, which would be pretty cool. It's basically a N64 remake, right?
Nice.
Or like to say remaster. But so I got 575 points. So I'm leaning toward getting F-Zero, the Super Nintendo F-Zero. I already have a bunch of these games. I could get I could get the original Metroid or Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. That was the one where it was like the top-down one, and then he went into areas and it was side-scrolling. Do you remember that one?
I
On
only
NES.
thought of it as side-scrolling. I didn't realize it was top-down, and then it's flipped over.
Well, yeah, the top-down part was next to the least important part, right? All the action took place in the side-scrolling areas. But that was a really hard game. I remember that being incredibly difficult. I could get Mario Tennis, the N64 Mario Tennis. So I got some options here. But it's nice of Nintendo to kind of give these games away for free, even though they're just like digital like bits and bytes, right? They sell them for a couple of bucks. But one of my favorite features is the Virtual Console on the thing. I can play Mario 64 whenever I want. I can play, all these old Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, and I can do it all on kind of one system. So the Virtual Console service came out with the Wii, and it's probably one of the better ideas they've had recently because, like I've said, nostalgia sells, and it sells quite nicely. People want to play the old games. If you get somebody over who hasn't been playing games recently, they're like, "Do you have Mario, the first Mario?" I'm like, yeah, I have it if you want to play. Like, oh, wait, cool. Also, all those games, way harder than you remember, I think.
Spend time with people who are as dumb as you're making them out to be.
Well,
do you have Mario?
Just because they speak like a Californian doesn't mean they're unintelligent.
What's that game with like
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here, Stuart? I said it was near there. I said it was near there, Stuart. I could get the original Super Smash Bros.
Whoa! Did you just go into Mad TV
Yeah,
there
I
a
went
little
to
bit?
Mad TV.
Oh,
we're crossing the sketch comedy.
Mo
streams.
Collins.
don't
No money, Mo Collins, as the rap song goes.
Anyway, yeah, Wii U.
Don't
big
anyway
fan.
that joke. That joke
The
was
more
phenomenal.
money we come across, the more Collins we see.
Hey, by the way, Mace was supposed to play Halifax like 2 months ago and couldn't get in because of passport issues. And didn't announce it until the name of the show. So Cisco and Choclair had to perform on their own. Can you believe that? Can you imagine being Cisco and Choclair?
What's one other song from Cisco that's not the song we're thinking of?
Wonderwall,
he's
right?
Drew Hill in the Wild Wild West song by Will Smith. Drew
Will.
Hill, bringing the heat.
Big Wave, Drew Hill. Is he Drew Hill? Why did he change his name?
Wild West. Because the Thong song came out, and you have no choice but to go with Cisco after that point.
There's got to be more than one black rapper with a bleached blonde haircut, right? What?
You hit the race thing pretty hard.
You hit the
No, I didn't hit race at all. I hit the
shades,
BLs.
throwing shade on the shades.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying.
Choclair, Halifax, Nova Scotia native, had that one song.
Is he really?
Is he?
Yeah.
Choclair coming down with the Northern Touch. We notorious. Ain't nobody.
Oh, that's not even the one. It was Riding.
Riding. I like
For real.
Choclair because when he came up with his rapper name, he must have been sitting in some sort of a sweet shop because he
Man,
got a
this-
chocolate and an eclair, and he was like, "What can I call myself?"
Do you remember that was a chocolate bar? There was a chocolate bar called the Choclair.
That's what. Okay, there
That's
we
what
go.
we're talking about.
That makes
No,
sense.
Matthew was thinking of a combination chocolate eclair.
Oh. Oh no, yeah, no. There's a chocolate bar called Chocolate. It's like that Eat More phase, where like a lot of different chocolate bars are coming back. Man, Eat Mores were really First time I had Eat More was also the last. Those were really disappointing.
Ooh, take that, Eat More.
It was just
Commercial.
sticky.
This guy was skipping a rock, and the rock just kept going because the Eat More just kept getting chewed.
That was.
I think we all remember. I'm getting real nostalgic now. Jeff Hardy videos and Eat More commercials
and Nintendo games. Eat More sucks. Eat More sucks.
Will, how do you like your coffee?
I like my coffee crisp. You like
You
your
guys
coffee crisp?
You'll ever have a Sweet Marie? Those are pretty good.
A Super 8?
Sweet Marie.
Oh.
Super
No.
8. I had a Sweet Marie when I was staying over at a Super 8 one time. And that
Oh,
was-
boy.
Whoa.
What movie were you watching?
I was watching the J.J. Abrams movie, Mission Impossible 3.
I was watching Sister Act 2. What's your point? What are you getting at?
I was like, oh, she's back in the habit. Look at her. Oh, whoopee.
Oh, man. Sorry.
Sorry.
I don't remember how this started.
Nobody knows how it started. It doesn't matter. We're talking about people
because
doing
we were
shows.
talking about Mo Money, Mo Collins, and then I get on Mace.
Who was
after
doing
Stewart? Okay,
yeah, which is
Ron.
more of like a P Diddy Biggie song, right? I guess B.I.G. wasn't around. He died after that. Before that, during that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There were too
Mo
much, Mo
too much-
Problems.
too
He
much
has a
talk
verse in
of,
it, but he's dead at that point.
Yeah, B.I.G. PTA Federal Wage. Yeah.
Do you remember he's putting at the beginning? He's like, "This is one for the championship," and then he sinks it and he goes nuts. And then there's also that there's this old Diddy video, and Ben Stiller shows up because Diddy
Bad Boys for
drives
Life.
the ball.
It's
Oh,
like,
Bad Boys for Life. Yeah.
Diddy Papa Diddy Pop. It's like, hey man, anytime you're having one of those parties, shot me a holler, dog.
Show me a holla dog. That's exactly what it was. Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
Stiller's-
I'm trying to remember that sentence.
Speaking of dead people, Ben Stiller's mom passed away. This
Yeah,
past
Ann
week.
Mara.
Yeah, it was-
Glad you touched on it in that way.
Yeah. Well, Matt, you're not the one to talk about dead people this podcast. Okay.
you brought him up.
I have no idea what you're talking
You
about.
brought up
you
the
know.
zombies. Like the Undertaker said, never summon the dead, right? Anyway. Yeah, he did. Nope. Okay. Okay. Well,
No.
yeah, okay. Well, who else? I know Kid Rock wanted to do Halifax. This might be like 10 years ago, but there were no... He didn't sell enough tickets or something, so Kid,
Yeah.
unfortunately...
Celine Dion announced a concert here and then rescinded because people were like, "Pfft, I ain't going to see her." And
She's like,
"All right."
well, I'm staying in
And
Las
sold it.
Vegas then.
Oh, I hate Celine Dion.
She was like,
Whoa.
I drove all night to get to you guys.
She's like, wait, weren't there scenes from Titanic filmed in Halifax? I thought they'd come from near, they come from far, they come from wherever they are.
Wherever they are.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, once more, I'll open the door and we'll stay forever this way. You know,
Yeah,
that's
guess-
right.
Gosh.
And this, I might be telling tales out of school, or no, that's not the right word. Sentence. I might be misremembering, as Roger Clemens.
Misremembered?
Misremembered.
Infinitely? Is he infinitely
No,
spoke?
he made it kind of famous, I guess, for lack of a better term. He self-absorbed it, right?
He
Okay,
doesn't want to be
thanks, Matt.
famous. I'll make him infamous. Sorry,
Infamous.
that's from
But I think our father, the father, used to be a usher part-time gig at the Metro Center.
Usher, yeah.
And I think he was. Does Usher show people to their seats at his own concerts?
No, but he wasn't. He was in Muppets Most Wanted as the usher of the theater. Yeah, he's like, I'm the usher. He's like, I'm Usher. He's like, the usher. He's like, yeah, I'm the usher.
I'm the usher. I'm Usher the usher. I'm Pa Rappa the rapper. Anyway, I think Dad was the usher when Celine Dion played, not the usher, but one of them.
I can
when
confirm
Celine
this.
Dion played at the Metro Center, and I think he called the house during one of the songs. I can't remember.
Honey, she's playing the song. Oh, she just finished.
He put his cell phone on.
I don't think he
called
said
Mom.
anything during. He wasn't like, "Hey, here's music." I think she knew where he was. She's not like, "Charlie, all I can hear is that damn Salon Dijon singing."
Stop breathing into the.
Salon Dijon and Drain the Lockjaw.
Stop breathing into the phone when the thing pointed at the stick. Oh,
Unfortunately,
Alex,
Pete
you-
Holmes came up with Salon Dijon. Sorry, Pete Holmes' mother came up with Salon Dijon when she was telling Peter, your father got me the best present. He got me tickets to my favorite singer, Salon Dijon.
Sarah Canning, friend of the show, her dad. This takes us back to Nintendo. Would call Yashi.
How do you like me now?
Yashi and Loogie. So Sarah called them that for years.
Yashi and Loogie.
Yashi and Loogie, which are not their names. Hey, remember the mystical Pokemon Lugia? That was a weird name weird way to pronounce that. I always thought it was Lugia. Anyway, keep going.
Well, wasn't that the thing too with like Hermione in the Harry Potter?
Oh, nobody
books?
knew how to pronounce
I
it.
have
in
friends
North
who
America.
pronounce it Hermione.
Yeah.
Although in the fourth book, there's a point where
She spells
I think
it out.
Ron is eating. No, Ron's eating mashed potatoes, and he like phonetically says her name wrong. Like he phonetically says her name through mashed potatoes, and you can see it's clearly supposed to be Hermione.
Oh, see, I thought she was explaining it to the Durmstrang guy. What was his name? What was the Durmstrang guy's name?
Victor Crumb,
I think she was explaining it to Crumb, wasn't
Bulgarian
she?
Quidditch champion.
Yeah, that's right, the Bulgarian Quidditch champion. Speaking of Bulgaria, Rusev
Hey,
now is built from
Rusev
Bulgaria
just
again.
came back from Bulgaria. That was weird.
Yeah, no, he's done. He's done with America, which is good. He's got a tattoo of Bulgaria on his arm, right? I mean, come on, represent. Harry Potter. Those are some fun books. Hey, what do you say? hey, what do you say?
I just may.
Call it a day.
No way.
Let's not call it a day because this is Monday morning, but we can call it a cast. I don't know. Should we do? Is that a thing we do?
No, if this was a cast, then we were.
This is a cast. We potted it.
Can I just get can I get some stats from you guys?
Yeah.
I don't normally get favorites or retweets from my tweets. I don't know about you guys. Like every once in a while I get one, but not very often. And I just had a random one get 11 favorites and 8 retweets, which is just very large for me. It's very odd to see. I don't know if that ever happened to you guys.
What did you say?
I said, don't dress for the job you have. Dress for how cold it is in your dang office, regardless of the weather outside. It was like the most mundane thing ever to say.
The best part is it was all girls.
It was all girls.
That's hilarious.
Why is that the best part?
Because you're just speaking to a problem many women have, which is being cold all the time in their office.
Like
It's funny
here's a
that you're the
better
one-
one. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. You should probably clean up and get ready for work. Hope that you don't take that wrong. That's a way better one.
I know, but you can't decide what gets over and what doesn't, right?
I know.
You put it out to the world, and the world decides what they like.
But do you guys normally get favorites and retweets? I gotta say, I shouldn't say once in a blue moon, here and there. But
I get favorites and retweets all the time. No, it depends. It depends on what
if you get one, you're kind of like, oh, or if you don't get one, you're like, oh.
I thought that was a good one. Yeah, it's always the ones that I think are like this one's gonna scintillate the Twitter sphere.
Yeah.
It's gonna
So many
break the
followers.
sound barrier, and then
Follow with them.
and then it's like a pigeon toot. It doesn't get heard very well. Doesn't go over. It goes over like a toot in church,
Pigeon toot.
as Steve Austin would say. No, it's weird. And like on Instagram too, you take a picture of something dumb. You're like, whatever. I remember that one of my most liked photos.
yeah, your face. Oh,
I'm actually really insecure about my face, so I'd appreciate it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be.
You're just picking up.
I will tell
my
you.
skin.
I will tell you randomly. Someone just told me the other day. I was like, your brother has really nice hair. And I was like, okay.
Damn straight.
Thank you so much.
And it wasn't you. It definitely wasn't you.
Wasn't you, Brillo
Sorry,
Pad?
Dad.
Sorry.
Sorry to tell you that.
Hey, man, that's hurtful.
Well, you know what? I envy you guys. Your morning routine. Just put a bar of Dove soap in your hair and scrub it around, and then you're good to go. For me, I have products. I have stuff. It takes 2 or 3 hours.
You think I put a bar of Dove soap in my
Dove
hair?
soap.
Dove soap.
Dub soap is my favorite. Dub soap's my favorite music genre.
No, it's not.
I love listening to dub soap.
Dove soap's my favorite music television crossover genre. That was a better one. Right, because it's soap operas.
Guys,
hey,
you know what? Having not made a joke about this, I'm going to be impartial and say both of those were bad.
Okay, thanks.
Both of those are really bad.
But tell you what, we're gonna tweet it, and then
Both of those weren't good.
we'll let the Twitter sphere decide. Decide.
This guy. Will, you got to work on your talk. One of my most
Work on your
a tweet that was popular in the last few months was when I said, "Well, actually, the proper plural is Tim's Horton." I got a retweet and 2 favorites.
But it's not,
Wow,
because it's his name.
3 things.
It's not a plural form.
Well, okay, Will did not like that.
Sorry.
Well,
I don't like it either.
Well, if I can count it on 3 fingers, it's not really good unless I'm counting in billions.
count on 3 fingers. Each finger is worth $1 billion.
It's worth $1 billion. If each finger's a bill, then that's good. If each finger's then that's not good. But that's okay. You know what,
folks?
We'll keep trying, folks. Oh, don't folks.
Thank
me.
you.
Don't folks me. Hey,
Do not say that.
Hey, folks. This week's sponsors are...
Hey, folks, this week's sponsors are Stamps.com. Who hates... no, I got to work on my Marin.
How about you don't even acknowledge that was a Marin?
Shut up.
Nah,
Shut up.
No,
'Cause I knew, listen, I knew you were going for the Marin, right? With the Hey Folks.
No.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nope.
Yeah.
And then,
Nope.
yeah.
I don't see enough Marin for me to go to that. I wasn't going for that at all.
Yeah,
Really,
Alex
every
did,
podcast
and
starts with "Hey, folks." Like if
Yeah,
you're skipping
Alex-
through them, it's like "Hey, folks, hey, folks, hey, folks."
Yeah, Alex did, and then I did. And then he says, what does he say? Hey, what's up? What does he say, Alex? Keep going.
All sorts of...
What the heckers? What the heckanauts? What the heck?
What the Heckians?
All right, we said enough. Hey, if you want to
I've
retweet,
said my piece.
If
I didn't
you
get to
want
talk about
to,
Schumer, but that'll give me something for next week.
there you go. Wow, we really blew it. Hey, if you want to, hey folks, if you want to follow me on Twitter and favorite and retweet all my stuff, I'm going to start every sentence with "Hey folks" now. I'm on Twitter at William C. Vaughn. These other chumps are on Twitter as well, and you can follow them at their respective addresses. And I just got lip smacked.
Yes, I am at
suck my teeth at you.
TB Buccaneers on Twitter.
TB Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
God. Okay.
I'm at Garoppolo Goat,
Okay. All right.
quarterback to never play the game.
All right. So these are actual. These are actual Twitter addresses. Are they
I'm not
addresses or
positive about
accounts?
my Garoppolo Goat one. I'm sure it exists though. If it doesn't, it will by the time this hits your heads.
How would you spell it?
Garoppolo Goat.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's
All right.
weird.
I was going to look it up, but never mind.
Garoppogoat. Because he's double P, one L. And I always spell it double L, one P.
Well, that's,
Grollipo.
Can I say that one more time?
can you not?
He spells
no,
it.
Don't say the letter P.
Double P,
Oh
one
God!
L.
Don't say
But
another
I
P.
spell it
No, don't say it again.
double L, one P.
Oh God! I knew it was coming. It hurt so much.
You know what my favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner is?
Okay, good. Timely. Very timely. Yeah.
Stuffing.
Happy June, by the way.
Oh, and peas.
Oh God!
The peas and carrots are my favorite.
Isn't that right, Pete?
Watermelon.
Just recite the sketch with Alec Baldwin and Jimmy Fallon when they're like the cops that spit food all over each other.
Point Pleasant.
Police.
Yeah, I was at Point Pleasant Park the other day. I saw a puppy dog.
Oh,
It's a
God.
Pomeranian.
What was it doing?
Pooping. He was pooping.
God.
He was pooping in the park. It
All right,
wasn't
so between
Saturday
his owner was wearing these pink Pumas.
in the park. I think I'm gonna end the podcast.
No, don't do
All
it. I
right.
have so much more to say.
No, shut Alex up. Hey, thanks for listening this week. We apologize.
Hey, folks, thank you.
Yeah, hey,
Hey,
folks.
folks.
Bye.
Don't do drugs.
No, don't. Good call.
Why you mad I said that? They shouldn't.
Because, Alex, we ended it. I didn't know this turned into an after-school special now. Now we got to do another podcast immediately about the dangers of drugs, like pot, prescription pills, Percocets.
Hold on. Let me talk this.
PCP.
Pot, prescription pills, Percocets,
Oh, my
PCP.
Just repeating what we said. Come up with a new
Power
one.
of the
know
devil,
all them
which is
drugs.
cocaine.
You guys know what all them drugs are because, guys.
Because there was a commercial that said,
Oh yeah.
said which are good, which are bad, and it showed a picture of like a bunch of drugs.
Oh
on
my
a
gosh,
table.
I
Sure did.
never asked mom or dad about those drugs.
There's lots of drugs that sure have their flaw. Watch it now, man. They're trouble with the law.